What's up, guys and gals? Welcome to Tausify. My name is Tausif, and I'm very glad to see the overwhelming support that we are getting for Palestinians. The outcry to stop the genocide in Gaza, and it's really heartwarming, and it's really something that is unheard of ever before. Like this is one of the things. It's a 75-year-old oppression, ongoing oppression of the Palestinian people, but the only reason this was suppressed and people didn't know about it, or people didn't talk about it enough, is largely due to the fact that we didn't have social media back in those days. And I genuinely think that social media is something that is backfiring on them, like on the West. So this is something that wasn't the case for a very long time, and I'm very, very happy to at least see a huge amount of support for the Palestinian people. The genocide is still ongoing. We have more than 10,000 people killed in Gaza, and also people dying in the West Bank. We're going to go through some of these videos where people are actually telling, and the first video we have is of this gentleman who is actually from Israel, or at least is a son of an Israeli, and let's check this out.
Israeli, as the son of an Israeli, as someone with an Israeli passport, as someone who has friends and family over there. Obviously, no one approves of the slaughter of innocent people. No one. And of course, I am concerned for my friends and family who are in Israel. That being said, I do not stand with Israel at all on what's going on. And I'm finally starting to realize, for lack of a better term, how brainwashed I've been. I was taught to love Israel. I went to Jewish elementary and Jewish high school. And, we're singing the Hatikva, the national anthem. We're singing all these Jewish songs. And we're taught this one very specific view of history. We were taught basically that, the land was ours. We were taught that, we tried to offer them a solution. We tried to offer them peace, and they kept on attacking us. And the reason why we kept on gaining more and more land was because they would start wars with us. And we would defend ourselves, and we would just end up with more land. And so we would try and give it back to them every once in a while, but they wouldn't accept it. Now I'm starting to recognize more and more and more, firstly, that the Palestinians are living in, this is the phrase that's being thrown around, an open-air prison. 2.2 million people who are being restricted in their food, their water, their electricity, their fuel. Children who are born into a prison who are never going to be able to go anywhere and do anything. And this has been going on for 50 to 60 years. And we were taught to resent them. And so, obviously, again, the killing of innocent people by the Palestinians, awful, terrible, inexcusable. And then I watch Israel's response, carpet bombing this open-air prison with 2.2 million people. They're doing the same thing. I do not stand with Israel. I stand with the Palestinian people. I do not understand how we as Jews can stand by while a nation cries for freedom. They are trapped there. It might not be as explicit as putting them into gas chambers, but it's still genocide. And we talk as Jews in regards to the Holocaust of never again. Is it just never again to us? Or is it never again? Because I thought it meant never again.
Should be never again for everyone.
But we're still being taught this separation and this complete lack of identification of what is happening with these people. So, now, can I excuse the fact that, Hamas has killed civilians? No. But does that change other elements of the situation? So this is what I'm saying, where we're going from this binary, black and white, of they are bad, we are right, to wait a minute, there's a much more complicated situation going on here. And firstly, we do need to distinguish, much so, between the Palestinians. And even to the extent that we are going to call Hamas terrorists. I mean, I don't know. Firstly, there was a story floating around of them beheading 40 babies. Now we look at something like that, and that makes us think, oh, well, they are evil. Because I like to think that even in the uprising, in the Holocaust, the Warsaw Uprising, the concentration camp uprisings, I would like to believe that even in those situations, the Jews who were rising up didn't attack and kill civilians just for the sake of it. They wouldn't commit atrocities. They wouldn't rape German women. That being said, I don't know. Maybe they did. But beside the point. We were told that Hamas beheaded 40 babies. And we look at that, and that gives us like, oh, well, they are terrorists. That's beyond any freedom fighting thing. That there's beyond no excuse. And then turns out, wait a minute, there is no evidence of that. And the news outlets that first put out that story then retract the statement. You can't retract a statement. Once it's out there, the damage is done.
Yep.
Because let's say you publish a news story and 10 million people hear the story of Hamas beheaded 40 babies. Then you post the retraction. Firstly, the retraction doesn't get as much news as the original post. So 10 million people heard you say that Hamas beheaded 40 babies, and only 2 million people heard you make that retraction. And even the ones that did hear you make that retraction, half of them don't believe it. And even if they do believe it, that image is still in your head. There is no denying that Israel has been using propaganda, that so much of what we know is not the truth of things. So we don't know. You don't know what's happening there. I don't know what's happening there. There are a few things that we can know. We can know the big picture story. We can know that there are 2.2 million people being subjugated in that place who cannot live their lives. We can know for certain that civilians were killed from Hamas, from the Palestinians, and we can know for certain that even more civilian and children were killed by Israelis' response. So, firstly, let's open up our interpretation of everything that's going on there. Let's move from this binary, black and white, to they are wrong and we are right, to wait a minute. The Israelis are causing more death, really, than the Palestinians, and we're being taught that, wait, we're the good guys here because this is our land kind of thing, because we're standing up for ourselves. It's not our land. We were given the land. It's like, if someone comes up to you, the government comes up to you right now and says, hi, here's this person, they're a refugee from Syria. This is their house now. Like, what do you mean this is their house now? Well, here's this person, they're a refugee, they've been in a lot of pain, and we've decided to host these people, so this is their house now. You're going to have to leave. I don't want to leave. Okay, fine. Tell you what, they'll take the left side of the house, and you take that little 10%, that one room. You keep your bedroom, but they get the rest of the 90% of this house. Is that acceptable to you? And you go, no. And they go, well, now it's your fault. So go to your bedroom, and we're going to lock you in there. That's basically what happened. Sorry, I got more passionate about this than I expected to.
So there you see the Israeli gentleman who is actually realizing the truth, So yeah, just like this guy, there are lots of people all over the world, even in Israel.
When I was a Christian Zionist,
I'm gonna watch another video, and not this one. So, former Zionists and Christians and Jewish people, irreligious, non-religious people, and just people all over the world, not just Muslims, and not just Arabs, but people in general are actually waking up to the fact that there is an ongoing genocide happening. What do you sir?
And on Twitter, what's going on?
By the way, the person who is uploading this his name is Mike Blochman, and only facts Palestine Israel. All right, this shakes him.
Good evening, everyone. I'm sure everyone's seen the videos going on Twitter, what's going on in Gaza. It's absolute death and destruction over there. He's like looking into the fucking pit of a volcano's mouth. It's fucking unbelievable what's going on there. I just see flames everywhere. Just looks like burning. Everything's burning everywhere. And this is what fucking innocent people are having to fucking endure. Because the fucking world is standing by and doing fucking nothing. Our fucking Prime Minister, they took a vote tonight at the UN General Assembly to call for a truce. And this fucking country did nothing. So this fucking ass sidle did nothing. Rishi fucking Sunak, our Prime Minister, did nothing. This is meant to be our Prime Minister, and he could have fucking shut up and be counted and fucking said, no, we want a truce, we need a ceasefire. And he kept his fucking mouth shut. Fucking shame on him. Fucking prick. Absolute shame on him. Fucking war criminal. He's fucking supporting this genocide. That's what he's doing. There's death and destruction going on over there, and he could have stood up and been fucking counted and said no. But he didn't fucking do it. He kept his fucking mouth shut. Well, all them fucking innocent people are getting relentlessly fucking bombed and killed mercilessly at the hands of this fucking terrorist state Israel. Our country did fucking nothing. I am ashamed to be fucking British tonight. I am fucking disgusted. Absolutely ashamed to be British. That my fucking country would stand idle and allow this shit to go on. This is not the fucking British values that I stand for. This is not what I fucking stand for. The killing, a merciless killing of fucking innocent people. Fucking shame on Rishi Sunak and shame on Keir Starmer. But don't you worry about it, because the fucking British public will fucking judge you. You will not get off. You will fucking not get off. The history will fucking judge you as a genocidal fucking perpetrator and a fucking war criminal. I am absolutely disgusted. The terrorist state Israel is just allowed to relentlessly kill people with no fucking discrimination. Everyone can get it. And
Yeah, I just like to point out the fact that even though this guy is incredibly passionate, and visibly very angry at the Prime Minister and the government of England, of the UK, but the fact of the matter is they've been supporting this genocide, oppression, apartheid of Palestine for 75 years, and it was the British who actually gave, the Jews, the Israelis, their land to begin with. So you see, they're actually like the British, like the British government's action is what actually started the Nakba to begin with. So yeah, and I completely understand that this gentleman's fury and anger and his passion. But yeah, I'm glad that more people are coming out and expressing their passion, their fury, their anger towards their governments. And I think if more and more people start to rise up, they will be forced to change. And I hope that change happens soon.
the world leaders do fucking nothing. I think 42 countries abstained. 42, I believe it was, abstained from voting. 42 fucking cowards and 42 fucking war criminals. Well, all them fucking innocent fucking babies and fucking mothers and fucking fathers again fucking shelled relentlessly. They've done nothing. A genocide is going on. It's unfolding right in front of our fucking eyes, and they did fucking nothing to stop it. What's happened to humanity? Is this what we stand for? Is this what life's all about now? We don't do no one. People are just getting killed mercilessly. Eh? We are to the terrorist state Israel. They'll just keep committing fucking international fucking laws. They keep breaking laws and human rights violations. Breaking law after law after law. And what's point having laws if you're not going to hold people to them? You just give them green lights to just fucking kill people at fucking will. And they're doing it. They want to exterminate the Palestinian people. And you do fucking nothing. I'm fucking ashamed. But don't worry, Rishi Sunak. This fucking country's Prime Minister, you'll be fucking judged. And I for one, will never fucking forget this. I'll never forget this. That you sat your fucking ass and did fucking nothing. And Keir Starmer, both a pair of fucking bastards, war criminals. You've got fucking Palestinian blood on your fucking hands.
I just can't wait for this guy to watch Douglas Murray, to listen to Douglas Murray talk about. I feel like this guy is. I'm talking about Douglas Murray. I think he is an absolutely poisonous individual. He's absolutely he's full of poison. And the way he talks about Palestinians and Muslims and Palestinians and Arabs and Muslims in general, and the way the dehumanizing tone and the dehumanizing language that he uses is absolutely despicable. That man is just poisonous. That's the only word that I can find that fits him.
Fucking baby killers, child killers. That's what you fucking are, because you didn't fucking try to stop it. You fucking wankers. And I'm sorry for this one, but I've fucking had enough tonight. It's fucking disgusting. It's heartbreaking what's going on. Fucking heartbreaking. And not enough people do enough to fucking stop it. Fucking shame on you, man. If you wouldn't do fuck all, you're a fucking coward and your fucking soul's dark. And people won't fucking forget. When people will not forget. Fucking bastards. You fucking all deserve to burn in fucking hell. Fuck you, wankers.
Oh well. They still are not stopping. That's the thing. They just did. The latest news that I've heard
You can't go into somebody's fucking
is that they're threatening to bomb the only pediatric cancer ward in Gaza. Okay. So let's see what else this politician from Ireland, Richard Boyd Barrett. He's one for the Palestinian. He's a massive supporter of Palestine, and yeah, he never shies away from showing it. And I think this was his recent.
How many? I have a simple question for you. How many innocent Palestinian civilians, men, women, and children, does Israel have to slaughter? How many war crimes does Israel have to commit? How much death and destruction does Israel have to visit on the people of Gaza and Palestine before you will call for and impose sanctions on Israel and expel the Israeli ambassador from this country and call for the immediate referral of Israel?
Yeah, you know what he's saying? A lot of people will, in fact, call him anti-Semitic for saying these things. And I'm pretty sure a lot of people do. You know, it's ridiculous that somebody calling for an end to genocide would be called an anti-Semitic. Even Jews themselves. Like, I watched the Jewish Voice for Peace group do a sit-in protest, and there are actually people who are calling them anti-Semitic. It's ridiculous.
To the International Criminal Court for crimes against humanity and war crimes. Because in front of the world, by their own admission, Israel is committing war crimes. They have stated it publicly. This isn't a matter of opinion. They declared their intention to force, through the threat of military bombardment, more than 1 million, it is now well more than 1 million, Palestinians from their homes in northern Gaza and ethnically cleanse them. A crime against humanity. They stated publicly, and have done it in front of the eyes of the world, the intention to deny to 2.2 million people water, electricity, medicine, life-saving equipment in front of the eyes of the world.
Yeah, people are actually carrying out surgeries without anesthesia and delivering babies without anesthesia. Pregnant women are giving birth without anesthesia. Pregnant women are doing like C-section without anesthesia. It's unimaginable, the situation, the painful situation that Palestinians are going to, man. The world are still debating, what is a proportionate response, and Israel has the right to defend itself. That's bullshit at this point. This bullshit. This is the things. I think they consciously know and they consciously lie just so they can see this genocide happening. They're enjoying it at this moment. They're finding pleasure in seeing these children getting killed and these women getting killed and these people suffering. It's just enjoyment at this point. It's just the people who are enjoying this, they're feeling nostalgic. That's reminding them of the good old days, back in the slavery days and the apartheid days, back when they were ethnically cleansing, Native Americans, and that's what they're being reminded of. They're getting this kind of nostalgia from this new genocide, and they're just here to enjoy this. They just want to enjoy it. They're literally gonna tell people in the hospital where there are critically sick patients and premature babies inside incubators, and they will tell these hospitals to evacuate. Well, they can't. A lot of these people can't, because a lot of these people are premature babies and critically ill patients. So what does that actually mean? It is the Israeli government actually telling them to evacuate and just leave these babies inside the incubators behind, and leave all these critically sick patients behind, and just leave them there to die in the airstrikes. Is that what they're saying? Is that what they're doing to spice up their genocide? Is that what they're doing to increase the entertainment value of their genocide, so they can watch this and enjoy, so that they can munch on their McDonald's blood burgers and enjoy this spicy, entertaining slaughter fest?
And they're doing it. And every minute, children are being slaughtered by their artillery, the relentless bombardment of residential complexes, of hospitals, of schools, of civilian infrastructure. They just go on and on and on, and you do nothing. Nothing. Words of concern, but no action to hold them to account. And it is clearly premeditated war crimes and genocide. Genocide. We have Jewish people in the United States and Canada, around the world, and Israel calling it genocide. Scholars, academics saying this is genocidal. Let me quote you a few things. Israeli general, quote, "Human animals must be treated as such. There will be no electricity and no water. There will only be destruction." Yoav Gallant, a minister, says we are fighting human animals. We will, quote, "act accordingly. We will remove, quote, every restriction on the IDF." Smotrich, another minister, there is no such thing as the Palestinians. The president of Israel refers to the people of Gaza and says they are all responsible. Before October the 7th, Netanyahu appeared in front of the UN General Assembly with a map of Israel that had removed all references to Palestine. A clear declaration of intent to destroy the Palestinian people and steal all of their land. 6,000 Palestinians killed between 2008 and before October the 7th. Thousands of Palestinians hostage in administrative detention without trial. When are you going to move beyond words of concern and impose sanctions and expel the Israeli ambassador of this apartheid murderous state?
Sanctions. I feel like that's the appropriate. Well, it's a start. I feel like sanctions can. Well, the boycotts are working because Starbucks and McDonald's are actually giving like ludicrous discounts on their products.
I have a simple question for you.
People are still not buying them.
I have a simple question for you.
Let's see.
A Palestinian. A few days ago, I made a post when this Israeli-Palestinian conflict first started, and I said that I stood with all of the innocent victims, and that it was a complex situation.
It's incredibly, incredibly complex. It's incredibly complicated for a serial killer to justify murder. But unfathomably uncomplicated. It's simple for the victims, for the families of the victims, and for the police to take one look at this and say this is murder. It's nothing complicated at all. It's complicated only if you're the serial killer and you're trying to justify your actions. You know, it's severely complicated to try and justify genocide, but it's not complicated at all to call it as such. You know, condemning genocide shouldn't be complicated.
Nope, it's not. I have learned so much over the last 24 to 48 hours. It's not complex. It's not difficult. While I am dreadfully sorry what happened to the Israelis from Hamas, what is happening right now in Gaza is not okay. It is not okay that the United States is supporting Israel in genocide. That is what's happening. And by every single one of us being quiet, it's going to be allowed to happen. We have to stop what we're doing. We have to call our congressmen, call our senators, call the president. Let them know that as Americans, we are not okay with what is happening. We cannot stay silent. This is not something that we can just watch on TikTok and watch on the news. And feel bad for everyone. We are part of the problem. We send billions of dollars to Israel every year, billions. I've seen one estimate that it equaled $6 to $8 million per day. And there's only one reason why we are even remotely supporting Israel, and it's because of freaking politics. It's oil, it's money, it's control in the Middle East. I get that. But now it's not okay. It's been happening for way too long, but we've all been quiet and didn't know the details, but now we know. It is genocide, what is happening right now, and our government is complicit. And we cannot sit here and say nothing and do nothing. Make phone calls. Make videos. Do something so that your voice is heard and our government understands that they do not represent us. Make phone calls. Make videos. Do something so that your voice is heard and our government understands that they do not represent us.
So, see, she, amongst many other Americans who are actually showing their concern for the fact that it's their money, it's the American citizens and their money that's going to the genocidal efforts of Israel. You know that they're funding, like they involuntarily are funding a genocide, and they had enough of it. You know, quite frankly, they have had enough. They have had enough, and now they want to make it right. And I applaud these people for it. No, I'm a Bangladeshi sitting in Bangladesh. I'm a Bangladeshi sitting in Bangladesh. You know, but you know, to see actually Americans who are, you know, waking up to this, Americans who are becoming aware, you know, kudos, hats off. I commend these people. So we see another gentleman here. See what
I'm Israeli born and raised, and from a very young age I knew, well, I'm going to be joining the military. I was never in a Palestinian house till I barged into one in the middle of the night. One of the things that I did routinely was a mission where you are ordered to take over a Palestinian family's home and use that house as a military point. No warrant, you don't call in advance, it's a military occupation. We get the house in Nablus called the House of the Doctor. We start breaking down the door.
In other words, your job is to terrorize.
Old man is standing in front of us. We handcuff him, we blindfold him, and we throw him, his wife, and his daughter into the room. But something inside me was already breaking up. Guy took his blindfold off and his handcuffs, and this old man in Nablus woke me up to his reality as a Palestinian. He explained to me what his life looks like when every other day someone is barging into his house, when it's difficult for him to move around his own city sometimes or move from city to city. I realized that most of my service, Palestinians were sort of like wallpaper. They were what was happening in my surroundings. And this doctor in Nablus sort of managed to sort of unmask that. And from a very human perspective, he helped me break my silence.
Also, admirable the fact that a lot of Israelis, like kids, young adults, are refusing to join the military. They're going to prison. They're serving prison time, but they're still refusing to join the military. They just refuse to, you know, become government-sponsored terrorists, you know? That is something that takes a lot of balls, because these guys, it's not like you can refuse and just go home. No, these guys are thrown into prison for refusing to serve the IDF. More.
Children, page to the Guardian this morning, is absolutely horrific. Graveyard for children. For children. Israeli airstrikes, the largest. 3,005. Page to the Guardian this morning is absolutely horrific. Graveyard for children. For children. Israeli airstrikes, the largest refugee camp in Gaza. 3,542 children dead. Just in the next street over there, this is where we live. In the next street over there is my daughter's primary school. There's 300 children in that school. This means that every single child Every single child in my daughter's primary school is dead, murdered, bombed. Can you imagine the reception children, year 1, year 2, year 3, 4, 5, and 6, all 300 dead. Times by 12. 12 primary schools massacred. Is that what it says? Is there really international law in the world? What does it say about killing children? What does it say about bombing refugee camps? What does international law say about that? Israel military confirms it bombed Gaza's largest refugee camp. We have received this from ActionAid. We have received the worst news possible. The Israeli bombing has killed our colleague Noah's entire family, mother, father, sisters, brother. We have no words for the grief, for the barbarity. More children have died by bombs in Gaza this month than in the entire last year across 24 wars, according to Save the Children. And the cross-party consensus, Keir Starmer, yesterday, he said no, now's not the right time for a ceasefire. The 12 primary schools, all the children dead. Now's not the time. That's in America. It's horrific.
That's disgusting. No, this just gave me chills. I got emotional just listening to him.
I'm Israeli
because
born and raised.
imagine school full of children being imagine a school full of children just getting wiped off, erased from existence. Children. These are not... Why would anybody do this? Like, they just push buttons and kill people they don't even know. People that are children.
Oh, the absurd myth that Israel was acting in self-defense. It's a ridiculous position to take, and here is why. Firstly, and most importantly, Israel is the colonizing force. This would be like saying that westward expansionists were acting in self-defense when they decided to eliminate the indigenous population of the United States by handing out...
I'm Israeli born and raised, and from
Americans, some of those indigenous people did fight back using force and violence because that is justified when an occupier is...
a very young age, I knew, well, I'm going to...
coming in and wiping out your entire box fence when they decided to eliminate the indigenous population of the United States by handing out smallpox blankets. And yes, some of those Native Americans, some of those indigenous people did fight back using force and violence because that is justified when an occupier is coming in and wiping out your entire family. Those populations were exterminated. You understand that, correct? Second, according to U.S. News, Israel ranks 4th in military might behind the United States, China, and Russia only. The entire membership of Hamas is estimated by U.S. intelligence to be around 20,000 to 25,000 members. Every single citizen of Israel serves conscripted military service. There are 9.7 million people in Israel. About 170,000 of these are active duty, and about 500,000 of them are on reserve. Israel has been committing a slow genocide against the people of Palestine since the 1940s, over 75 years. What this means is that they have limited access to water, food, free movement, medical supplies, things that people need to actually survive. And Bibi Netanyahu's government has been inciting violence from Hamas for decades. They will do ugly, horrible things like shooting Palestinian children in the street and killing peaceful Palestinian protesters and raping Palestinian women in IDF prisons. It's horrific. Do you think this was a policy accident? No. Netanyahu and the Israeli government absolutely want Hamas to be violent, so they have an excuse to target Palestinian civilians. And Netanyahu has admitted this specifically, that having Hamas is important. It's important to sort of create this enemy of the...
They're funding Hamas. They've actually admitted it, and I've even reacted to the Bassem Youssef interview, the latest one. And they say it in the interview as well. Both Bassem Youssef and Piers Morgan agree that, you know, they are actually funding this terrorist organization. So what is even the point?
So that there is a reason for the national project of Zionism. If they can really convince folks that, well, it is self-defense, we're just protecting ourselves against these naturally violent brown people, then Israel has a reason to continue existing. It legitimizes the state. And let's be specific.
Imagine speaking for a third world country full of brown people. Imagine standing up against a first world country with the fourth most powerful military in the world. Imagine speaking up against such a country who is oppressing a third world country full of brown people, and you're being called the racist in the equation. You're the racist and you're the anti-Semite in the equation. Imagine that. By the way, Palestinians, also Semitic people.
Specific here. The things that I've been horrified by, the things that I've been talking about, is not retaliation against Hamas. It is the wholesale murder and genocide of Palestinian civilians, Gazans, and people in the West Bank. So you coming over here and insisting, oh, Israel's just defending itself, is ridiculous on 1,000 levels. Defending themselves against whom? The Gazan bodies in the rubble? The infants that they've already killed? The pregnant women that they've already killed? The people who are sheltering in schools and hospitals, sheltering anywhere they can while Israel continues to carpet bomb Gaza? Self-defense where? And yes, the attack by Hamas on October 7th was horrible, but we should not have to clarify or hedge our support for Palestinian civilians by saying Hamas is bad. Why? And obviously, Israel's reaction to the Hamas attack on October 7th wasn't, okay, let's root out Hamas and target them. No, they decided to wholesale bomb one of the most densely populated civilian areas in the world. Israeli politicians are coming, they're saying the quiet part out loud.
The way they're acting is like, you know, a murderer, like, imagine a murderer came from Boston, came to New York, and committed homicide. You know, murdered a bunch of people, let's just say. Murdered a bunch of people and fled back to Boston, right? So just because the murderer is from Boston, would it be fair for the American government to just completely carpet bomb Boston because there's one murderer in Boston? Like, wouldn't you send your police, your investigators, the FBI, the CIA to track down this murderer rather than just carpet bombing an entire city, right? You look for the murderers, you look for the criminals. Sure, Hamas is a terrorist organization. They've committed acts of terror. Then go root out the terrorists and deal with them, right? Why are you becoming an even worse terrorist than the terrorists that you're claiming to kill?
Saying we want to eliminate Palestine, not Hamas, Palestine. They want to force people to flee. That's how you know this is a genocide.
Correct.
Sent out an entire campaign to content creators and influencers. They sent out an entire campaign to content creators and influencers to support Israel.
$5,000 is what I was just offered to pledge my support to Israel. And I think this is absolutely disgusting. You cannot buy my support of a genocide.
Several social media influencers have spoken out after being offered financial and social incentives by pro-Israeli lobbies to announce their support for Israel and to adjust their narrative in Israel's favor amidst Tel Aviv's war on Palestine's Gaza. An email sent by a global collective asked users to share content from its library with the hashtag #StandWithIsrael and Hamas's ISIS, promising to share the influencers' posts for increased viewership. The collective sought to legitimize their offer by referencing celebrities such as Kim Kardashian, Madonna, and Jerry Seinfeld. Meanwhile, other groups offered money to content creators to stir up support for Israel.
Israeli marketing groups are paying my followers to switch sides. Pretty much they're telling my followers that if they go live with them, they are going to compensate them $1,000 US. And they say that they might even give them up to $2,000 just to go live with them.
Some pro-Palestinian influencers also claim that pro-Israeli brands have threatened to revoke their sponsorships for publicly supporting Palestinians.
So these guys are being offered, like, they're trying to bribe these people. On the other hand, my channel barely has 200 and like what? Let's check how many subscribers I have. I have like 246 subscribers, right? My channel is at risk of literally being just wiped off of existence. You know, they're not. Why bother bribing such a puny little channel? You know, where you can just, you know, tell YouTube to just boop, wipe this channel off the internet. You know, which is why I need you guys to subscribe to the channel and show as much support as you can, so that I can keep pushing, speak up against literal genocide. You know, and even the fact that I'm saying words like genocide, murder, killings kind of also hurts the YouTube algorithm. So yeah, I really would appreciate as much support as I can get. So yeah, please be sure to subscribe, hit the bell icon, like the video, and share the video as much as you can, so that we can spread as much awareness and as much support for our Palestinian brothers and sisters as we can.
Received a essay basically saying that they're not willing to work with me anymore because I've publicly said that I support Palestine. I received another message where they said if I take the post down and publicly announce that I do not support, that they will pay me basically double the amount that we agreed on, and they would repost my video onto their feed. Which, in what actual right mind do you think that you can buy my morals?
And that's not all. This Israeli page has been lifting photos from pro-Palestinian creators and re-editing them to fabricate increased support for Israel.
Apparently, I stand with Israel?
It's that Muslim, what's his name? It's that Muslim guy. That's his name. That's his handle.
So, has apparently been supporting Israel without her knowledge.
Without her, oh my
groups
God.
Have long been accused of manipulating information and controlling the narrative through digital and PR campaigns in an attempt to whitewash their war crimes. But this time, their campaign has backfired.
Hey, if you want proof on how Israel is using social media, there you go.
Oh my God. It's horrendous. What is happening? What is happening in the world, guys? The world is falling apart. You know, it's. Let's see more. beautiful to see. More and more people are actually opening up to the religion of Islam. Okay, this Israeli gold medalist returns his medal.
And a 91-year-old man honored by Israel for saving a Jewish life during the Nazi Holocaust has returned his medal in protest of the Gaza assault. Hank Zanoli was given Israel's Righteous Among the Nations award for his actions under Nazi occupation in Amsterdam. In 1943, Zanoli smuggled out a Jewish boy and helped hide him in his home for 2 years. Despite Nazi suspicion, he and his family backed the resistance. Zanoli's father was executed in a concentration camp and his brother-in-law executed as a resistance fighter. But last week, Zanoli returned his medal to the Israeli embassy in The Hague, saying that Israeli bombings of Gaza had killed 6 of his relatives. His grandniece is married to a Palestinian man who lost 3 brothers, a sister-in-law, a nephew, and his father's first wife in a bombing of their home last month. Zanoli writes, quote, "For me to hold on to the honor granted to me by the state of Israel under these circumstances would be an insult to those in my family 4 generations on who lost no less than 6 of their relatives in Gaza." And Zanoli added, quote, "The actions of your state in Gaza these days have already resulted in serious accusations of war crimes and crimes against humanity. It would be of no surprise to me that these accusations could lead to possible convictions if true, and unpoliticized justice is able to have its course. What happened to our kin in Gaza will no doubt be brought to the table at such a time as well," he wrote.
Facebook Community Standards Department reviewing my posts. Because, yeah, it's just so much pro-Palestinian content. They can't help themselves but to terminate. Like, I'm at risk of getting my channel deleted, getting my Facebook profile restricted. And despite of all of this, I'm still going strong.
Alhamdulillah. They're still saying, Alhamdulillah. Alhamdulillah. They're still saying, Alhamdulillah.
Muslim Palestinians still seeing them say Allah is all knowing. Palestinians are doing everything that was described Job doing in the Bible. I'm not living the Quran and out of the orphan. I don't know.
I've not seen any footage of Palestinian people cursing Jewish people or Israeli people. These are people of God.
And note these people were blessed by Allah himself.
Such an intolerable, give up about his likes. Okay? The only thing these people fear is Allah.
That's it. That's something that people don't get to see often. Definitely not here in the West.
Piece of the Bible, asking logical questions were not allowed. When I read through the Quran, I see logic and divinity brought together.
As a result of that, on social media, I have seen so many people picking up the Quran and reading it.
Through, this entire thing with Palestine, so many more people are learning about Islam. Just so many more people are reading the Quran. A lot of people turning to Islam.
I just bought my first copy of the Quran.
I got the Quran. I started reading the Quran. So I take 2 and reading the Quran. Let me see. That are brave Palestine people as their music and breathing. Song to faith and me while their families serve. Murdered.
That states waited a lot. You were empathy and understanding of global community.
You need to know what y'all put in Islam.
Just from reading the second surah, I get it. I understand why there's such a steadfast faith to anyone that follows Islam. It was shown just how wrong we were about this faith and how rich, how deep, and just the language of it. How fluid and beautiful it is.
Weeping Lighty, the Westward, and I took my Shahada. I feel tremendous peace. I'm going to be reading it forever.
MashaAllah. That is beautiful.
They're still saying.
That is incredibly beautiful to hear. So many people are actually now taking an interest in Islam and Muslims. It's really something. Yeah, so these are the collections of videos that I found on the internet. These are the stuff. Yeah. And oh, this is the Jewish Voice for Peace. Yeah, see? The Jewish Voice for Peace, the largest protest by Jewish people in decades in America. This was massive. It was absolutely beautiful. So many people, Jewish people, saying not in our name. Wow. Wow. That's fills my heart with joy watching this ceasefire now. And there are also like ultra-Orthodox Jews. There's Rabbi Israel David Weiss, and then there's Rabbi Beck, and there's like Natsure Karta, and so many of these organizations that speak up for Palestine. It's absolutely beautiful. I hope that their efforts are successful and we get a free Palestine.
But good, I want to challenge you. Who are you? Are you a moral person? I would never kill 50 innocent people, no matter how mad I am, no matter how deep that injustice is, and no matter how much it affected me. I am a decent enough person to not murder 50 innocent people, let alone the 8,000 that you have killed so far. 8,000 that you have murdered so far. I don't care what you call it. When you say, oh, I got 13 Hamas guys and I killed 8,000 civilians, that is not, oops, collateral damage. Oops, there was nothing I could do. No, you purposely killed those innocent civilians. What does that make Israel? Do not let Netanyahu or the right-wing government of Israel do this to the moral fiber of Israel. Right now, the whole world is looking on with unbelievable disgust. They can't believe what they're doing. It's one thing when a terrorist group does it. There's nothing we can do about a terrorist group. We're all against terrorist groups. But when a government does it...
With our money.
And it is righteous. I am moral. I murdered those people out of morality. No, you didn't. No, you didn't. And the whole world right now is going, Israel, you've got to stop. If you don't stop, this whole thing is going to boil over. And now it's no longer just about the deep, deep immorality of the occupation. Now I'm significantly worried about Israel. The Houthis from Yemen are coming in. Are you guys nuts? You're going to have the whole world attack you? Get rid of Netanyahu today. You're on the brink of absolute disaster. And for the first time in my lifetime, an existential danger for Israel. Turn around. As a friend and an ally, I'm telling you, you have to turn around. If you don't turn around now, you're in mortal danger. But no, go ahead, kill more, and see how that works. It's going to work terribly. It's going to work terribly, and it's endangering everyone inside Israel, let alone those poor Palestinians. And if you don't think they're poor Palestinians, and you don't care about them, I'm sorry, but you're a terrible person. If you say innocent lives, I don't care, because they're Palestinian, you're a terrible person. That's reality. If you don't like it, that's a sad day for you.
Wow, so that was Cenk Uygur. And here you have Muslims kissing. This is absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. You see Muslims and Christians, they're kissing each other's cheeks.
No matter who settles down over us.
Look at that.
It's beautiful, Palestine. No matter who settles down over us. It's beautiful.
How beautiful
It's
is that?
beautiful.
There is no apartheid in Palestine. Watch this. Watch this. South Africa, Palestine. Oh my god. This is absolutely heartbreaking to see history repeat itself so identically. You see, these are the Maori people of New Zealand. Check this out. For Palestine. That was awesome. That was absolutely epic. Absolutely awesome. Right? This goes to show that people all around the world and cultures and different people, different cultures, different religions, they all teach the same thing. They all teach humanity. When you see something evil take place and it urges you to speak against it because of it's what your culture has taught you. That's humanity.
Do you know who's... You cannot trust any organization nowadays, especially UNICEF, and I'm gonna show you something. This is UNICEF organization. They protect children. Do you know who's executive director? I saw this video before. Catherine Russell. This is Catherine Russell, and this is her husband, Thomas Danielon. Sorry. This Gandu. Do you guys know what he owns? He owns this company, BlackRock. This company owns guns that they use in Gaza. And there was protest. You know why? Because now everybody knows that this company is sponsoring war in Gaza. You cannot trust any organization nowadays, especially executive director.
So there you have it. A weapon company, a weapons dealer is now absolutely he's the husband of the president of the UN, UNICEF. So how are they gonna stop this? If they're gonna do the weapons business, then the genocide in Palestine cannot stop. You know, because that won't be profitable, right? That's not profitable.
Your forte, but the suffering of humanity.
That's the legend Norman Finkelstein. The legend.
Since I came onto this earth.
Now let me.
And I am not.
Are you gonna let me?
Humanity may be your forte, but the suffering of humanity has been what I've been about since I came onto this earth.
Now let me.
And I am not.
Are you gonna let me?
I am not going to trivialize the fact that 1,100,000 Children in Gaza are now the object of a genocide. I see no humor in that.
Okay, hold on a second.
Nothing
Hold on a second.
funny
Hold on a
about
second.
that. I would betray the memory of my parents were I ever to mock, ridicule, find funny, whatever.
Hold on a
what's
second.
being done
Professor.
to those people in Gaza.
Professor.
It is a crime that makes your heart just scream. Hamidi may be your forte. I am not going.
What an absolute legend. Here are the journalists. Check out the journalists. These guys are also absolute heroes. Check this out. I might get copyrighted because of the song. This man, by the way, lost his entire family in an airstrike while Dahdu. What a even the journalists are not spared, man. There's nobody's being spared this time. So yeah, these were the collection of videos that I've seen that I found interesting all around the world. You know, not just Muslims, but everybody is with Palestine now, and we hope that Palestine will be freed, that the blockade from Gaza will be lifted, and the apartheid will end, and the annexations will stop. Hoping for a free Palestine. And yeah, if you enjoyed this, my take on it and my reactions to these videos that I've collected, then hit the like button, and be sure to check out these people as well. You can visit my Facebook page and you can just, you know, check out these videos and go to these individual creators and give them a shout out and give them your support, give them a follow, and yeah, subscribe to my channel if you haven't, and with that being said, until next time, be good and stay Tausified. And stay Tausified. Yeah, that's going to be my new catchphrase. Stay Tausify.